Today's topic is hurricanes. This is one storm that is bigger, lasts longer, and can do more damage than a tornado. In fact, some hurricanes have tornadoes inside of them. When we look at a hurricane, they can take up hundreds of miles. And you might notice that there's a hole in the middle. Just like a tornado has a middle to it, where the pressure is really low, the same thing is true inside of a hurricane. We call it the eye of the hurricane because it kind of looks like an eyeball. Inside of the eye, it actually is calm. Almost no wind, no rain. And if you were in the storm and you looked straight up in the eye, you could see clear skies and the clouds all around you. So it really is a hole in the middle of the storm. Now, right around the edge of the eye is where the storm is the strongest, the most wind, the most waves that you will have. That's the worst part. So you usually get hit by that, and then the eye comes over and you get hit again. You get hit twice. Before it's a hurricane, we call it a tropical storm. Tropical storms are big thunderstorms, low pressure, cold front. What makes them a hurricane is when the winds get more than 75 miles an hour or more becomes a hurricane. And then the higher it goes, the stronger the hurricane. You can get winds well over 150 miles an hour in the biggest hurricanes. You can see these storms are so big, we see them easily from space. And the top of the storms are flat. They hit the top of that troposphere and they can't go any higher. All that moisture built up in the cloud. Just like tornadoes, they have the power to knock down things with their wind, but it's actually their flooding that is the biggest problem. If you live near the ocean, that's where these storms hit. They need the water to be strong. When they come on land, they run out pretty quick. They become tropical storm again. So only right on the edges do we have the biggest problem. At the ocean, the water actually rises up and can get pushed in and make a giant flood. Here you can see in Florida, the power of the wind, strong enough to knock down or bend a tree in half. If it picks up things, it can throw them like missiles. And there you see a board thrown all the way through a tree trunk. A piece of wood that probably covered a window. They tell you the best windows to have are the ones that have metal that come down and cover the window. The ones that people put boards up, it just rips them off and throws them. This was a famous storm in the 1970s, a long time ago now. And these people decided to stay behind and stay at the top of the apartment. They said if the water came in, if the flood came in, that they would be up high and it would be okay. Here's the problem. When the flood came in, the apartments were gone. It knocked them down and took them away about a mile away. So the people on the third floor were not okay. All but one person died in that storm. So hurricanes are very serious. The good news about a hurricane, they don't surprise us. We know they're coming. We can usually predict them 2 days, 3 days, even now almost a week in advance. We know the storm is coming. So people have a chance to get out of the way so they don't get hurt. The only problem is when people decide they're going to stay there and then get injured. Here you can see what I mean by the waves. They can get 10, 15 feet high coming in off the ocean. This was Hurricane Katrina that hit New Orleans and caused a really bad flood. The fancy name for this, we call it a storm surge. Surge means that the water moves forward. Storm surge is what does the most damage in a hurricane. Here you can see in New Orleans, the storm surge ripped the road off of the bridge. The road is gone from the water in a hurricane.